Alright guys, bringing you another one. This time a guest video by my boy Drunk Zaku. In support type, the Hizack Hap cannon? I forget precisely what this thing is called, but let's just call it the Hizack cannon for the time being. I believe this is a 500-point room. And this thing, well, as support types go, it isn't bad. It doesn't play quite like your classic support. At least I don't think so. You can do classic support things, but because of the way the shoulder cannon works, you can't exactly use it the same way you would a gun cannon or a full armor Gundam or things like that, because it fires in a 3-round burst, and 3 rounds is all it gets in its magazine. Another odd thing about this is that when I asked him to give me a video, the thing about Zaku is he's a better player than I am. When we play together, he consistently gets higher damage numbers and higher score numbers than I do. I've been sitting here trying to figure that shit the fuck out, so I was like, hey, is it alright for you to send to me to do a video of your videos? He's like, sure. I'm like, great, he sends me this. I mean, playing as a support type isn't exactly... Oh, that's a G3, it's about to get fucked up. I think he sees that. But maybe there's something about this that's special, but I'll tell you one thing, he definitely has this thing loaded out in a very, very bulky way. Actually, no, this isn't a 500. What am I talking about? This is a 400, 450 one. 400 or 450, I'm not sure which. I think it's 400. Nope, that is a White Rider. If I got my identification right, if that's a White Rider, it has to be a 450. But I'll tell you that cannon on the back, it's interesting. I think they just do that nowadays to differentiate it from the other cannon types, so you don't have 8 million things doing exactly the same thing just poorly. But it does mean that reload parts are... I mean, they're always necessary on suits like this, but now it is imperative that you have the shortest reload time possible. Well, because essentially every time you fire, you empty your magazine. Unlike something like the gun cannon, which can... I forgot exactly what its rate of fire is, but it doesn't have to reload every time it pulls the trigger. This thing does. So keeping that reload time as low as possible is imperative. But I do think that this will break maneuver armor if you hit all 3. Or at least if you hit 2. Poor Alex. Another thing about this thing is it's not as slow as something like the gun cannon or the full armor Gundams. Ooh. He's gonna use my combo? Yes, he is! I love that combo. But it's not as slow as the other cannon types, I suppose you can say, the other full armors. So this thing can keep up relatively well. Still not great, it's still slow. It's still slower than molasses, but it isn't quite as slow as those guys. Let's see, they have the lead here. But it's not a lead by much, and what was that? Number 3 seems to be wanting to be really curious about getting into the thick of it. It looks like he caught the enemy not paying attention, managed to drop a bomb on him. In situations like this, thankfully, he predicted to move a little bit there. In situations like this where they respawned, oh, he's with Nova Gundam and Demo. I didn't even realize that until just now. I might have to redo the entire fucking video. That's nice. So they're guaranteed fighting a party, that's for sure. But now they're kind of in a bad way. They were in a good way before, because they were coming back off of respawn. So they're basically all coming back at full health while the entire enemy team is going to be low on health. If they play their cards right in a situation like that, and they win the team fight. And thankfully, that's exactly what happened. Problem is, they're going to the next team fight, And they're all, well, not all pretty low, but he's about a half health. Nova's down there at half. I'm not even half, way lower. Now he's dead. Not a bad thing for a G3 to do. Okay, now my boy's messed up because he's kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place. And G3 doesn't seem all that interested. And to be fair enough, he has other problems. Also, he got the support too. That was not the place to go ahead and try to repair yourself, if that's what he was trying to do. I love those incendiary type explosives because they turn what would normally be moderate damage into critical. You know, they do damage and you're not even looking at them, right? Love those damage over time effects. They'll do damage over a couple of seconds. So all you need to do is hit them and then stop paying attention, and you're in a good way. At least so far, what Zaku seems to be doing is putting the shots where he needs to be putting them. He's getting maximum value out of each one of those shoulder cannon shots, and out of, hopefully, at least 80% of his beam rifle shots. Granted, most of the enemy team's generals, so it's not like so it's hard not to use your ammunition wisely in a situation like this. He's only really fighting the G3 when he has to, or when it's advantageous to do so. He's leading them generally to everybody else, and everyone else is generally doing a pretty good job of keeping him off him. I'm not going to say generally doing a good job. They're doing a pretty good job keeping the guy off. I'll tell you, being able to fight 3 in a row does have that niche of being able to hit in situations like that. Didn't get that much value off of it, but damage is damage, you know what I mean? See what I mean? It will break maneuver armor if you hit 2 in a row. Well, not even 2 in a row. I think he missed his second shot, hit the third. So it will hit. So if you hit at least 2 of your 3 shots, will break maneuver armor. So that's great for dealing with raids. No, he should tackle here. Nope. And he fell down, so he managed to live slightly longer, but looks like he's going to die. All the guy has to do is, turn to the left and he's dead. Anyway, okay, now we have to talk about this. That took too long. Alright, now I have to talk about this. Oh, we only have 8 seconds left. But the mistake they made there is you want to prioritize the lowest health guy and work your way up. And they managed to do that with 2 supports on the team. Let's look at the scores. What do we got here? Ooh, boy. Look at all that DiMaggio's. Okay. You know what, now that I think about it, I think I see exactly what the problem was here. Well, not necessarily the problem, but they had a hard time dealing with my boy here. Well, obviously, I mean, look at the scores. What do I mean by that? What I mean by that is he was getting maximum value out of each and every single one of his shots. Right. Every time he hit someone, he was doing damage, he was doing stuns, he was getting value off of everything he did, right? But they were also having problems hitting him back. I mean, look at the enemy team. While G3 isn't bad in this particular situation, he certainly beat his rival, which would be this tank asshole right here. Which is a little weird. But the thing about a G3 is it doesn't have to get close to do what it has to do. He can apply pressure on Zaku from medium range. If Zaku's on top of the building, he just needs to get in range of his bazookas. He's not so, the Hizack here isn't so nimble that it can dodge bazooka rounds it's not even looking at, right? So all he needs to do, fire bazookas at this thing, stun him, hit him with beam rifle, and that's it. All he really had to do in this particular situation. And they had these 2 guys. Now, White Rider's range capabilities are limited because of the way it works. So this is probably one of the worst anti-snipers in the game. But this, while it would do minimal damage, keeping Zaku still definitely should have been priority number one. Well, I'm not sure I should say that because you have this guy running around, but it's not like he didn't seem to be that much of a threat. See how many kills he got. 8-2, 8-2, definitely. Okay. So actually, the G3 did pretty well, all things considered. His target prioritization was a little bit off, but it definitely did well for him. Anthony was kind of getting his ass was getting passed around like a fat chick at a party. Look at him. Yeah, getting maximum value out of his shots. And to be fair, he was with my boy Zaku wasn't in a party, so he was Nova. He was with Demo. Granted, Demo was kind of off doing his own thing, but Demo was doing perfectly fine, obviously, but he beat his rival, was probably number 2. But Nova Gundam was doing a good job of keeping the G3 off. And matter of fact, Nova Gundam probably made G3 priority target number 1. And then we have this guy who's just kind of hanging around. But I'm going to end things here, guys. Thank you, Zaku, for the video. I'm probably going to pick another one because I need to see what you do in your general specifically. But that'll do it for now. Remember to like, subscribe if you want to see more, and I'll see you later.